The war did not begin with armies or fleets or declarations. It began with laughter. The Vrakor Dominion had always seen themselves as the chosen rulers of the Spiral Arm, a race of scaled giants with iron talons and golden fleets that crushed worlds in their shadow. When humanity's colonies began spreading beyond Sol, the Vrakor merely watched with detached amusement. Soft bloods, they called us. Warm flesh pretending to be conquerors. And when they finally struck, it was not for conquest. It was for insult. The human colony of Erebus III, a quiet trade hub near the Rim, received no warning. The first wave arrived beneath a crimson dawn, Vrakor warships raining glass and plasma. Cities melted into rivers of fire. Families turned to ash mid-breath. Entire oceans boiled. When the colony's distress beacon screamed toward Earth, its transmission lasted 12 seconds before being cut short. In those 12 seconds, the galaxy witnessed humanity's agony and the laughter of the Vrakor broadcast across open channels. "Your blood is thin," said Warlord Serac, commander of the Dominion fleet. "It runs fast but fades quickly. You breed like insects and die just as easily. We do not conquer your kind. We cull you." The Vrakor left no survivors. They turned the colony's final city into glass and carved a message into its smoking crust. "The weak shall kneel." And as their fleets withdrew, the Dominion celebrated. To them, it was sport. A reminder to the galaxy that mercy was a disease only the weak carried. They believed Earth would howl, but never bite. They were right about the howling, but they had no idea what was coming after. The age of mockery, the galaxy's empires watched in silence. Humanity had spread far, but our fleets were small, our colonies young. We were scientists and traders, builders and dreamers, not predators. The Vrakor believed their act would break us. They didn't understand that humans don't break. We boil. In the months that followed, Dominion broadcasts filled the interstellar nets, propaganda dripping with arrogance. Serac's face became a symbol of Dominion pride. They showed human corpses frozen in the void, and cities scorched to bone-white ruins. Their war chanters mocked our blood as pink water, and our soldiers as children with toys. Even neutral species joined the laughter. "Earth will appeal to the Council," they said. "They'll write angry words, perhaps demand reparations." And indeed, humanity stayed silent. For 6 months, the Sol system's gates remained closed. Trade ceased. Communications went dark. The colonies whispered, "Why has Earth done nothing?" But in that silence, something was building. Inside the Dyson dry docks orbiting Mars, the old fleets were reawakened. In the frozen black of Titan's shipyards, engineers whispered oaths of vengeance. And deep beneath Earth's oceans, something vast began to stir. The old war foundries of the Terran Defense Network, sealed since the last interstellar war, came alive again. The silence was not fear. It was the sound of teeth grinding in the dark. 3. When the silence broke, the galaxy's first sign came not from Earth, but from the Dominion's frontier. 3 Vrakor warships patrolling the outpost of Drekal vanished from sensors. No distress signals. No wreckage, nothing, just gone. Then came the whispers. Traders spoke of black ships emerging from void rifts. Silent vessels without transponders, carrying no emissions, moving like ghosts. The Vrakor laughed. "Old space legends," they said. "Human paranoia." Then one of their border colonies, Valor Prime, went dark. Sensors recorded only a brief signal before silence. Incoming mass signatures, multiple. Planetary defense grid compromised. God help! The transmission ended mid-breath. When the Dominion sent a scout fleet to investigate, they found Valor Prime's surface. Gone, not bombed, not burned. Gone, stripped to molten slag, its crust peeled away like skin. Orbiting above it was a single, half-buried probe transmitting on all frequencies, for Erebus. And that was when Earth spoke again. A message, carried on tight beam relays across the galactic network. "This is Admiral Vance of the Terran Command. To the Vrakor Dominion. You wanted war. You will have extinction." 4. The march of retribution. It began like the coming of night. At first, only a few ships were seen. Massive dreadnoughts, unlike anything the galaxy had witnessed. But then, more arrived. Hundreds. Thousands. They emerged from slipspace like storms given flesh. Ships black as obsidian. Hulls carved with white streaks of vengeance. Each bore the insignia of the resurrected Terran Vengeance Fleet. The Dominion's outer worlds fell in hours. Their fleets tried to intercept, but the humans fought differently now. Cold, surgical, unrelenting. No hails, no mercy. Human weaponry, long hidden, long forbidden, sang again. Graviton lances that cracked moons apart, hellwave projectors that turned cities to atomic fog, nanite storms that devoured ships from the inside out. The Vrakor had always prided themselves on their honor duels. Their ceremonial wars fought with fleets arrayed in perfect formation. Humanity didn't care for honor. We cared for justice. Admiral Vance's orders were simple. For every child burned on Erebus, burn 1,000 of theirs. And so the sky began to rain vengeance. The Dominion's capital world of Verdun saw the Terran fleet arrive like a dark eclipse. Their orbital ring, a monument to their supremacy, shattered in a single coordinated barrage. Entire continents were leveled. Their seas turned red with vaporized alloy and bone. When Sarak's personal flagship, the Golden Fang, attempted escape, it was caught in the event horizon of a collapsing singularity bomb, a weapon outlawed. By every known species, Earth had dusted off the unthinkable. The galaxy watched in horror as the Golden Fang was crushed into nothingness, its command crew screaming as the singularity swallowed them whole. Humanity's message followed, simple and cold. Our blood was weak, you said. Now it runs through your stars. The blood painted the stars for months. The war raged, though war no longer fit the word. It was a purge. Human fleets didn't conquer. They erased. Planets where Vrakor banners once flew became silent embers. The very light of their suns dimmed beneath Terran bombardments, and everywhere, the same sigil appeared. The red streak of Erebus, painted across the hulls of Terran dreadnoughts, like a wound that would never heal. When the Dominion's secondary capital, Dravkor, fell, its last transmissions captured something haunting. Children screaming prayers to their war gods, drowned beneath the thunder of descending orbital strikes. By then, the rest of the galaxy had abandoned neutrality. Systems closed their gates, terrified to even mention humanity's name. The Vrakor screamed for allies. None came. Even their ancient rivals refused. You started it, they said. We will not share your fate. Within a single standard year, the Dominion ceased to exist. Over 300 worlds, 60 billion lives, gone. But humanity was not finished. Our fleets didn't return home immediately. They scoured the galaxy's rim, hunting every outpost, every remnant, every whisper of Vrakor defiance. Those who surrendered were not spared, not by policy, but by the fury of human soldiers whose families had died screaming beneath alien fire. The stars themselves seemed to bleed, and in the wake of every battle, the same message was transmitted, a line carved in binary fire. They thought our blood weak, but it painted stars. Say, the silence. After the storm, then, as suddenly as it had begun, the killing stopped. The fleets vanished as silently as they'd come, retreating back into Terran space. No speeches, no celebrations, no demands, just silence. The kind that makes entire civilizations afraid to breathe. The ruins of the Dominion were left untouched, drifting graves across 1,000 systems. No one dared claim them. A decade later, travelers still spoke of ghost fleets, Terran warships without transponders, gliding through dead sectors like watchful shadows. The Vrakor name became a curse whispered only in secret, a warning to arrogant children. And in the Galactic Council, a new law was passed, unofficial but absolute. No one provokes Earth. Because though the galaxy had seen many empires rise and fall, none had ever witnessed a race that made vengeance look divine. The Vrakor had mocked humanity's blood. They had called it weak, impure, soft. But the last thing they ever saw was that same blood reflected in the fire of their dying suns. A crimson tide spilling across the void, unstoppable and eternal. Sevens. The echo that never fades centuries later. Historians still argue over the true scale of the Vrakor purge. Some say Earth's fleets numbered in the tens of thousands. Others claim far fewer. But all agree on one truth. Humanity did not win that war. Humanity ended it. Even now, Terran ships patrol the edge of known space, their hulls marked with the words for Erebus, the oath that started it all. When questioned, the admirals of Sol Command offer no comment. They do not boast. They do not explain. They simply say, some bloodlines are born gentle, ours remembers. And so the galaxy learned. Humanity's patience is vast, but not infinite. Their forgiveness may be earned, but their vengeance, once awakened, consumes suns. In the end, the Vrakor were right about one thing. Our blood did run fast. It just never stopped running, until it painted the stars. The final whisper. There's an old saying now, carved on memorials and fleet halls across the outer colonies. Words every child of Earth knows by heart. We may be made of flesh and fear, but when you spill our blood, the universe remembers. And somewhere, in the silent graveyard of the Dominion, drifting amid broken moons and shattered rings, a lone Terran probe still transmits its eternal message into the void.